Can you hear me? Hello, Commissioner. I am here and I'm मुझे पता नहीं कि आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है कि नहीं. I think आपका माइक म्यूट पे है.
What I have stated is with regard to this is with regard to
Hello. We are audible. We are from Federal Trade Commission, Office of Chief Engineering Advisor, Chairman Federal Trade Commission, Islamabad से बात कर रहे हैं.
अशोक साहब को कहें अब 2 बजे CBWP की मीटिंग है, उसमें फिर प्रोटेक्शन सेक्टर प्रोजेक्ट 3 आ रहा है. सलीम साहब ने मुझे उसके ऊपर पोजीशन पेपर भेजा है.
हेलो, मेरी आवाज आ रही है? Chairman, we are audible from Ministry of Water Resources, Office of Chief Engineering Advisor, Chairman Federal Flood Commission, Mr. Ahmed Kamal Saab. He will join the meeting very soon. He was busy on another meeting. Therefore, he will join shortly. We are audible. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, we are audible.
हाँ जी.
Chairman Federal Commission.
आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ बिल्कुल, आपकी आवाज आ रही है.
ओके, हाँ बस मेरी तरफ से कोई मसला था. आई अपोलोजाइज फॉर दैट. मैंने अभी
Mr. Ahmed Kamal Saab will join the meeting very soon.
Okay, so let me just fix all of this. Yeah, I apologize for all this. I know that you've been very gracious. Okay, चलें फिर अगर आपके पास ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं है तो फिर let's just hurry it up. थोड़ा सा मुझे आप ये बता दें, चूँकि आपसे जो बात करना चाह रहे थे, हम थोड़ा सा अपडेट लेना चाह रहे थे कि थोड़ा सा मैंने आपको मैगजीन की न्यूज़पेपर की डिटेल्स तो बता दी थी. इट इज़ it's a newspaper in the US, international newspaper for international Muslims. हम सारी दुनिया की न्यूज़ जो है वो वहाँ पर provide, सारे Muslim world की न्यूज़ वहाँ provide करते हैं. And my responsibility is कि Pakistan and you know, whatever else जहाँ की भी हम पाकिस्तान and you know अफगानिस्तान अगर हम वहाँ की रिपोर्टिंग कर सकें तो वहाँ की न्यूज़ फिर हम प्रोवाइड करते हैं. तो अभी थोड़ी सी हमें आप अभी रिसेंटली इस्लामाबाद भी और कराची भी आपने फ्लड में जो सिचुएशन है फर्स्ट हैंड वहाँ से आप देख कर आए हैं, तो कुछ आप इंफॉर्मेशन दे सकते हैं कि वहाँ पे क्या हालात हैं अभी?
मैडम मैंने जस्ट अभी ज्वाइन किया, माय अपॉलॉजीज. Can you repeat your question? I just have not taken. Probably you want to know the position in the province of Sindh. Is that so?
Yeah, mainly तो सिंध में ही फ्लड से डिस्ट्रक्शन ज्यादातर हुई है ना, तो सिंध और जहाँ जहाँ डिस्ट्रक्शन है वहाँ पे क्या, right? What is the situation over there?
जी, allow me to say a few words before that.
Sure.
You know, this year the forecast for our monsoon was about 35 to 40% above normal. Our normal rainfall during the monsoon season is 140.8 millimeter. So against this 40% above normal forecast, we had received more than 208% above normal rainfall, of which 515% above normal rainfall in the province of Sindh, 475% above normal rainfall in the province of Punjab, province of Balochistan, 87% above Gilgit-Baltistan and KP, and 129% above normal in the province of Punjab. So this basically had set the scene on ground, number one. Number two, the rainfall this year was of, normally what happens is that you get the monsoon rains from the Bay of Bengal, and then we receive much of the rain upstream of the Tarbela Dam in the northern area of the country, that is in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa as well as in Gilgit-Baltistan. This year, the monsoon, first they came and then they had an impact in Balochistan, followed by in the southern part of Sindh and in the urban areas of province of Sindh, that is Karachi and all that, including Jafrabad and then Nasirabad cities and areas of Balochistan. This was followed by the system moving further up to the southern part of province of Punjab in the districts of BG Khan, Rajanpur, and all that, where there are very many hill torrent areas. And this year we have received historically high hill torrential rains and discharges generated because of that. And normally, the major hill torrents in the area, they generate water to 50,000 to 80,000 cusics, but we have received more than 275,000 cusics of water in some of the hill torrents, and the flow was that much of a fast flow, and that had an impact on our main system, river system from upstream of Sonsab Raj down to Guddu and then to Sakkar and then to Kotri. And while all this thing was happening, there was extraordinary rain going on in the entire part of the province of Sindh and Balochistan. So there was a water coming from the top. There was a heavy rains, continuing in that part of the province of Sindh and Balochistan. One of the cities in the province of Sindh, which has a negligible amount of rain that it used to receive, let's say about 50 millimeter or 100 millimeter at the most in the season, that has received more than 1,750 millimeters of rain. So you can well imagine the severity, and you can well imagine beyond unprecedented nature of what had we have seen. And then again, with regard to beyond the province of Punjab, in the province of KP, there was all of a sudden very sporadic and very, high intensity rain that was experienced in the area of Munda headworks and Mohammedan area and its upper Swat and all that. And according to Pakistan Met Department, it was a cloud burst. So if it was a cloud burst, so it was a very sudden sort of a thing, and which has taken everyone, just guessing and thinking what is happening on ground or what had happened, in just in minutes and then hours or so. So that had generated extraordinary, historically high water upstream in the Swat River. By virtue of that, the Munda headworks, which has a design, which was designed at 180,000 cubics of water, it received 290,000 cubics of water, and as a matter of fact, because of that, the Munda headworks, also there was a damage done to it. And then there was a biggest danger at Wasif and at Nowshera on River Kabul to the cities of Chasaza, Nowshera, and all that in KP. And then there was a fear that we might be receiving about 700 to 800,000 cubics of water at the junction point of River Kabul and the River Indus from top, which is known as Khairabad. So the institutions were put on high alert for very effective working of the reservoirs and all that. So that was the situation. Now coming to the situation on ground, I should say.
Before we move on to the situation on ground, I just have one question, like you mentioned, and I know that you're also an engineer. A lot of people are saying that this also happened. Of course, the monsoon and because of the climate change, it did get the monsoon was way worse this time. That the system was not, well maintained, and the irrigation system or the for the water to go down, that wasn't managed well. How would you respond to that?
Let me share with you. With regard to the irrigation system and the flood protection works, the flood protection works have worked very well, number one. Number two, yes, there had been and there were issues with regard to the drains in the province of Sindh. Those drains were not that much well maintained. And number one, and number two, the water that they had received were multiple of their design capacity. So that's why they were submerged in that, and there was no other solution but to take that water by putting bridges and all that in the drain system. So there is no doubt about that the drainage system needed much more better you can say operation and maintenance on a yearly basis, as well as their upkeep, as well as their increasing of their capacity, discharge taking capacity and all that. But our main embankments on both sides of the river have no issue at all. There are much small dams that have been damaged in the province of Balochistan. Why? Because those were small structures and those were designed not for for 100-year or 200-year return period or 500-year return period of floods. Those were designed for only 25, 30 or 50 years of return period, and the flood or the rain that was received probably was more than multiple times or more than on ground. So that's why some of the small dams got submerged and their spillways got submerged, their weirs got submerged, and then they outflanked and there was a damage on ground. But at the same time, there had been good, small structures which behaved and which provided or proved their, you can say, role on ground. But this is a fact that a very strong, very holistic, very well integrated, and very comprehensive approach would be needed on ground to manage future, you can say, issues with regard to managing this uncertainties of, I should say, the climate and the climate change.
Definitely. So what's happening right now? You were going to tell me what is going on and what is the
Yes, with
situation on
regard
the ground.
to, yes, with regard to, the people on the ground and all that, the scale is colossal. You probably know that the Natural Disaster Management Authority has stated that about over 33 million people, have been, affected. So many people have got displaced. More than 5,000 kilometers of roads, infrastructure have been damaged, and a number of, a large number of crops, have been damaged. So the people in the suburban areas and even the urban areas having their kacha houses, or you can say not brick houses but mud houses, those all have lost their dwellings and all that. The government is trying with the support of, you can say, international community, with the support of philanthropists, to give as much, food items and require more food items that is possible. Since the scale is large and the requirement of like tents, the medicine, the basic requirements, you can say, are much higher as compared to what was available, and good, you can say, assistance from different countries, including USA and other countries as well. But you can just well imagine if a plane carrying 300 or 250 or 350 tents in one sortie, and we are needing more than 500 or 600,000 tents. And the manufacturing of the tents also takes some time, and in this position of emergency, all such things have compounded. But I must say that over the time, some good steps have been taken. Besides, the people, I should say very, very honestly, and a salute to the people of Pakistan, and a salute to wherever the people of Pakistan living abroad. Whenever such calamity hits the country, like 2005 earthquake or 2010 floods, the people forgetting their, differences and all that, they come join hands, and so much of they bring together, and so much of, everything that they put in their efforts and all that. So we are witnessing all such things on ground. And but another important area, another important issue, which is going to be a sort of a threatening one, will be, as we move forward, the stagnant water or the standing water, lot of problems of hygiene issues and all, especially in the province of Sindh, those are coming out, and providing them relevant health facilities and relevant health related, you can say, prerequisite would really be a big task and a very big challenge. And now the government has installed National Flood Response Coordination Center at the federal level, which is in, I should say, present in all the 4 provinces and the other regions of the country. And those have also their provincial offices. Apart from that, at the provincial level, the federal government has also, developed or constituted or notified province-specific federal relief committees under different federal ministers and members of the parliaments, so that apart from the work which the National Flood Response Coordination Committee center is doing, those can be further strengthened, and you can say further consolidated by virtue of efforts from this political end as well. And at the same time, the government, we have got the instructions to immediately upgrade and update our national flood protection plan, for which Asian Development Bank is supporting us, is going to support, and now this plan is going to be revamped, new interventions on ground based on field evidence. What has happened now will be included in that. Definitely the issues of drainage, system especially in the lower riparian province like Sindh and Balochistan will be looked into. Apart from that, the city or the urban area issues will also be looked into. In this plan, there have been 20 cities, those were declared or identified as the most vulnerable with regard to urban flooding. So I think that those were required to be given due care and all that. Our meteorological capability is good to a certain extent. So it is required to be, it is definitely required to be enhanced. Very probably maybe good in 24 hours to 48 hours forecasting, or maybe 4 to 5 days forecasting, but beyond that, our forecast is not that accurate. Allow me to say one more thing. While in 2010 floods, I got an invitation from the Oklahoma University, where the National Weather Center of USA is located, and there had been so much good that was offered at that time with regard to flood forecasting and warning systems, and then nowcasting and all that. However, probably not good progress was made. Probably this may be a high time that that such like institutions they come forward, join hands, and I have the communications from those institutions with me. So this sort of a collaboration can be made. Let me also share that this is something, my personal view, that the present American government is cognizant of the climate change and its impact. So why should not Pakistan, having faced this much of a big disaster, is given probably the first opportunity of utilizing the Green Climate Fund and the other similar facilities, because as you very probably know, that the UN Secretary General very recently just visited Pakistan. He said that today it is Pakistan, tomorrow it will be some other country. So it will be my sort of a most humble appeal that for the sake of fighting climate change, we need to have a global as well as a regional and downscale to national and to the sub-national level, you can say sort of a mechanism made. And we should be working on that and reporting upfront from sub-national to national, national to regional, and regional to global, and then from global back to the sub-regional, in order to ensure that the mankind is saved and the mankind is protected from the climate change and its impacts.
Okay, so do you have time for like 1 or 2 more questions, or do you want to wrap up?
Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, so just 2 more questions. One, when you spoke of the committees that are being formed on prevention level.
I'm not getting your voice. Can you talk again? Can you please repeat?
Let me make sure. When you just spoke of the committees that are being for provincial governments to help with the flood, to make a plan. Can you hear me?
I am not getting your voice, please.
Okay.
I'm not getting your voice. Okay. So, please stop. Kindly just repeat your question.
Okay. You were mentioning the committees that are made for provincial government right now for further plans.
No, what I have mentioned is that the provincial committees that have been made to ensure, fast track relief to the people, as well as to ensure that the maximum people are reached on ground, and to ensure that all the sectors like road, communication, rails, and all that, where there is a damage, those can be the damage need assessment can be made quickly, and then the rehabilitation and the reconstruction phase can accordingly be commenced with. So these provincial committee, relief committees, and all that are for this purpose. I was just mentioning that there is a national flood protection plan which has many structural and non-structural, you can say, projections and projects highlighted in that. But the present disaster or the present flood that we had experienced, now that plan is required to be re-looked into so that it can be updated, and if new interventions and new, probably more climate friendly and climate resilient interventions are required, those can be included in that plan so that we can implement them accordingly.
Right. That's all I need. I just needed more detail on what those would be doing and what the step-by-step plan is. And then my next question is about what you spoke of the climate change plans with the US and what kind of collaborations that you spoke of. So what would be the first step to that the Pakistan government or you, as you spoke even personally, what you would be looking for?
Probably 3 or 4 aspects starting straight away. Number one, much more better awareness and research tools available to us with regard to knowing our meteorological conditions all around the region in general and over Pakistan in particular, so that our future forecasts are much more better and more close to the reality. And then all those relevant tools which can ensure such things on ground. And in the broader perspective, since we are now globally the topmost country hit by probably the historically, the century, if you count towards the century, the biggest ever catastrophe on ground. So the hydrometeorological catastrophe on ground. So the world community, with regard to the provision of funds for putting resilient infrastructure on ground, for climate change impacts control, for meeting with relevant standards on ground, those funds and those access to those climate funds should be made available to Pakistan as the foremost and as the first priority. And towards that, maybe some sort of a mechanism can be built regarding the provision of that fund, regarding how well those can be tied with the key KPIs or the key performance indicators or the quality aspects on ground. And it should be a both way, and maybe it should be a multilateral approach, maybe under the umbrella of a UN system or whatever. But it must be taken care of. And I would also like that this is although I'm going to give to my my relevant organization, but taking liberty and also sharing with you that we should also be raising our voice while we are in COP27 in Egypt towards that.
Definitely. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Commissioner, and for being here and for working, with me on getting this interview together. And I really appreciate it. And have a rest of the good evening.
Thank you very much. And you're most welcome. If you would like to have sometimes in future any further conversation or discussion, please do take my should I say the NOC or no objection. I would be available to talk on that issue because it is for the sake of mutual good.
Definitely. We'll keep in touch. And whenever I need any information or anything else from you regarding any other, details, I'll get in touch with you. Definitely.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Allah Hafiz.
Allah.